I'm Sarah.
And I'm Megan.
And this is
K2K! Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're in a different spot. It's like we've somehow magically placed in a new area. I wonder where it's at. Still in my basement.
Today, we're going to go more into Kentucky because we've been doing a lot of Korea, which is great. But we're both born and bred in Kentucky. So
born and bred in Kentucky, y'all. Woo! Or what you call rednecks?
I know I am, at least. I don't know if I'd call... Maybe London would also be.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty... So I've seen some weird stuff around here, but...
I was technically born in Lexington, but raised in Pikeville.
I was born in Corbin, technically.
Yep, so yeah.
And raised in London.
Yep.
Do you know what else is bred in Kentucky?
Horses!
Yay! So we're just going to be spitting some random facts that we really personally know about Kentucky that we're kind of I'm invested anyway. There's some things that I'm really into. But we got some cool facts. Sarah's going to start us off with some cool facts about Kentucky. Sarah?
Okay, so specifically, KFC is probably the first thing, like anywhere, like if you go anywhere else outside of Kentucky, they say, oh yeah, KFC. They'll say that in New York. They'll say that in Texas. They'll say that in
Korea?
Kentucky, Ireland.
Yeah, they have it everywhere.
Yeah. KFC was actually, it began its roots in London.
Mm-hmm.
And it started in
Corbin. It's in the homestead
Corbin.
is in Corbin. Yeah.
It started as a gas station, and he had like a little restaurant as a gas station. And he just started doing the chicken, and then they kind of innovated this type of air frying that they became really famous for. And now a lot of people use it for fried chicken, but back then it wasn't the normal way to fry chicken because it's a little bit of oil and air frying together. So that's what makes it extra crispy, apparently.
Listen, she knows the facts about this.
My mom was from Corbin.
Okay, so she's born and bred there.
Mom was literally. But,
didn't they talk about Colonel Sanders? He was people told him no hundreds of times that this is not going to work for you. This is not going to work. It's a no. It's a no for me. It's a no for me. And it's some ridiculous number that I've seen before that people told him no. So never give up, hoes.
That's straight from Colonel Sanders.
Straight from Colonel Sanders' mouth right here. Don't give up, hoes. No, but seriously, I think people turned him down so much, but he never gave up. And look where he made it. One of the popular chicken brand I think in the world still today. Mm-hmm. And I always hear though, this sounds weird. I think I hear in Korea and some other Asian places that there's KFC that's even better over there.
It's actually very good.
That's what I thought. You've been there, so I'm like,
it has something called extra crispy. Kentucky is also the home origination place of Dippin Dots. So it started out in the Fayette Mall in Lexington.
You think everybody knows what Dippin Dots is though?
I think so, because even my friend
Rihanna,
sure. Out in St. Louis, Missouri, Illinois area.
So I feel like we're not old, but I feel like some things.
I think when you go to festivals or carnivals or even circuses, it's always there.
I'm making sure because I'm
but they used to have it in a vending machine. They trial ran it in the mall, and you could choose from the vending machine what ice creams or mixes, and it would just come out in a little bowl, and it was so good. It's the best part about going to the mall when I was a kid.
Just any ice cream, honestly.
Yeah,
any ice cream flavorings. That's pretty cool. And then what? Sticky notes, Post-it notes.
Technically, sort of. Okay. It's more. What do you call it? So the idea and the design came from somewhere up north, but then the manufacturing was here for a bit.
Right.
So it's we claim that we created them because
we did it. I don't care what else says. Everybody else says we did it. Yeah.
We also distribute and print and make most of the playing cards that are out in the whole world. They weren't invented here, but we kind of streamlined it during the Industrial Revolution. So. Also pretty cool.
Listen, I bet you all didn't know about some of these facts we're spitting here about Kentucky. We're actually pretty cool. We're going to get to the bigger ones here in a second, but we're talking about kind of the smaller stuff. Now, Happy Birthday, I think, was also... the song Happy Birthday came from Kentucky.
I think every state says technically they did, but Kentucky has the oldest origination date of it being in hand printed. So
you're welcome.
Yeah.
We started a trend.
We at least wrote it down first.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever's saying it,
we wrote it down.
Everyone in the world knows that tune, even in different languages.
I know, exactly. So we started something.
Yeah, because in Korea, it's saying "Ochuka Hamida," Happy birthday to you. Yeah, so
it's everywhere. It's all over the world.
Supposedly cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
but I don't know how true that is.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
There's some things that we really didn't know, and we've looked up. We're just like,
I also feel like Kentucky would also be the kind of people that are like, yeah, we made that first. We've been doing that for years. Maybe they had.
I do it. Maybe we had, but no one wanted. They didn't believe us. So like, they're from Kentucky. And you know what? We do things and stuff too. Now, coal mining in Kentucky has been or was very big, and they might start revamping it again. But coal mining was a huge industry here. And where Sarah's more from pretty much east of London, where I'm at, that's where it got hit the hardest.
Yeah.
And that's our last episode. We talked about a little bit mental health, but drug addiction. And that's where a lot of people over there started getting after the coal mines started shutting down. I feel like it got really worse over there. But coal mining was really huge. You might start making a comeback.
They've closed down so many of the mines, though. And like,
people
that have worked mines know, like, once you're not working it so much, the cave kind of settles. And it's more dangerous to go back into after it's been gone for a while.
Right.
So if it does come back, they'll have to find more deposit spots or just completely dig out the whole thing again. Because but the cool thing is, also for people who have done coal mining stuff, my dad was at the strip mine part of the coal mine. So like he worked the outside part while the coal miners worked the inside part. But they have these special trails that they used to go up to, like the pass. So my dad would take me and my sister up to like one of these random trails, like literally on the side of the highway. Like you wouldn't even know it was there. It was just on one of those cliff things.
I believe that.
And we'd shoot guns.
Yep.
Because it was just like this big empty spot.
100% I believe that. I think I've seen videos of people doing that stuff. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. But it's literally like
we shoot freely in Kentucky, so y'all better be ready.
But also, like, 4-wheel drive, if you do those things, you have to have it. There's no way.
You're getting into some rough area, some country there. Because it gets a little more mountainous because you're in the Appalachian Mountains in that area. So, also, tobacco.
Yeah.
We have a huge industry for tobacco here, too.
Both my parents grew up on tobacco farms.
See? I always would drive by barns, and you would see the tobacco hanging upside down or hanging in the barns, drying and stuff. As a child, it's one of our core memories, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So we don't really, none of us smoke.
Mm-mm.
No. Just to verify.
I have asthma.
I know, none of us smoke, but my friend, she likes to smoke sometimes at work, and we go outside, and she says, I'm going to go support the local tobacco farmers. So.
We also invented, it was actually a black man who invented stoplights.
Yes.
The 3-light stoplights.
Yeah. That was really cool. I saw that too. I didn't know that.
Before it was just red, green. No warning. Red, green.
No warning. Either you're going to have to stop really hard or go real fast. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool. A lot of people, I think it's important to also, like, when it is people that are from minority groups, to mention that they are, because
exactly.
When people think Kentucky, I don't think they think of anyone other than white people. Like when you first think it, because the majority of us are white.
Exactly, but we got a little more flavors coming into the state. I think I've noticed it more since I've almost been out of high school, because I think it started happening. So probably around I graduated in 2010, so probably like from 05 maybe to onwards. I think they started creeping in this area. Because we really, like I said, I think I mentioned like the first video of like people made fun of me for liking anime and stuff. Yeah. So they thought it was like, you're weird. And I'm like, no, you're weird.
But now it's
racist.
Cool.
But now it's cool. That was a cool thing. Now we're finally cool, guys. We fit in finally.
We're born too early. Born too early.
You know, Louisville is home too. Now, that's another thing. How do you pronounce? It's Louisville, not Louisville.
We say Louisville.
Louisville.
Eastern Kentucky.
It's Louisville.
It was named after King Louis, though.
King Louis, yeah.
But a lot of Scots Irish. So
I think we got a little Irish, Scottish in our blood for sure.
I do.
I think I do too. I think my grandma had done the 26andMe, whatever it's called.
I did the Ancestry one, and I was 33% Scottish. Oh. And then they did an update, and then a lot of that 33% changed to Welsh instead. So I think it just depends on like
more
your
research into
path.
They've opened up more. Okay,
I'm just from that area. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's maybe mine's more Irish, but there's a lot of influence in my bloodline of that. I don't really look into that. My poor grandma thought there was so much Indian in her, and there was like
We do have 1% Native American, and then
I think it's ours was like 1% or something.
1% Nigerian. Because my grandma always said we were Melungeon, and that's what it means. It's literally like when like African Americans would marry with other like minority groups, like way back in the day.
Okay. Oh yeah, I knew I'd heard that word before. Yeah. It's interesting.
Sorry.
I need to do.
But I didn't believe it because I mean I'm probably the pellest person I know.
Look at us.
Like
look
at
us.
And it's summertime.
Okay, we're in the middle of summer, y'all. The middle of it. Lord. But in Louisville, that's how we say it. Actually, there's several big things in Louisville, but one of the things is Louisville Slugger, baseball bats, and that's huge. It's been around for a very long time. I can't remember how long it's been around, but they also, I read a fun factoid about apparently a lot of the Major League Baseball players, they'll buy or get, I don't know if they're given all of it or not, but they receive like 120 bats a season.
That's insane.
Like, who's a lot? First off, and that's just one player, I think. It wasn't just like multiple.
Is it a lot? Really? Because of how much they break and dent those bats?
If it's a lot, because I didn't, I used a metal, or a alloy metal. I don't know. It wasn't a wood bat. So those things would last you forever. So I'm not personally used to that. But so baseball, though, they use the wood bats.
Oh, also, if you want to see Megan in her glory, check the last episode.
Oh, yeah, my glory. I think I did really well at that time. I think I did great.
It was awesome to see you that like young. It was really cool.
It was something. I know. I was like a little baby. Oh, gosh. I was just a baby.
Louisville also, in that area, is where they first like designed the first steamboat ever.
Yes. Yep. There's a lot of interesting things that has happened in Louisville. And one of the big topics that we're going to be talking about, too, is horse racing, the horse industry here. And, of course, Churchill Downs is in Louisville, Kentucky. Churchill's known for, as you know, it's the Kentucky Derby is there. And there's a lot of other big historic things, other races that were really good there. But the Derby is the oldest continuous sporting event, I think, in the world. They say continuous because it's not, they never stopped having it.
Honestly, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's, gosh, what year are we on? 100 and...
Plus, Megan knows a lot about it because she used to work in the horse racing industry.
Yes. Let me look at...
She even lived in New Orleans. She's got a very...
I worked on the track for a hot minute. Hot walked horses, which was cooling them off after a workout or a race, which was scary. So I was in New Orleans, Louisville, and Saratoga Springs, New York. Oh. And I actually, if y'all have never been up in that area, it's very beautiful this time of year, especially. It's a cool, I think what happened was a lot of people from the city would go to the springs. It's the springs. Oh. So they had natural springs there, like hot springs and stuff.
See, I never knew that.
So yeah, it's really cool. And it's got an old town, and they have some of the oldest like Gothic-ish houses. So there's really cool facts there. And actually, Saratoga Racetrack is the oldest track in the U.S. And it's really cool.
Really? I guess that makes sense since like people migrated from. That's so cool.
2024 was the 150th running, so this year was the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. So it's been going on for 151 years. It's insane.
Sadly, the Kentucky Derby is also one of the highest human trafficking events we have in America.
That's insane. I don't understand how, but I guess it's
people come from all over, and then they just, or that's where they just bring all the workers to work too. But they every year, like where I used to work in the foster care industry, you would just see so many teams come in that were pulled from the Kentucky
That's
Derby.
Insane. I would say Keeneland, though, is my favorite track. So Keeneland Race Course is in Lexington, Kentucky, which is just about an hour north of us from here in London.
And I've been to there like a few times. It's pretty cool.
Keeneland is I would recommend if you guys look it up. Keeneland has one of the most beautiful tracks. They've actually recently did some updates on it to like the entrance and stuff. So I haven't been there yet since they've done the updates. They've been expanding, and because they make a lot of money there, because not only is it for racing, they have the biggest thoroughbred racing horse sales there at Keeneland.
Oh.
So during the off season, they have the sales ring. So the September yearling sale is like one of the biggest thoroughbred sales of the year.
I didn't know that.
I'm telling you, when the who's who of all over the world come and buy yearlings there, because you have the top bloodlines they're selling. People that buy unraced or untrained yearlings, a yearling is a 1-year-old. So that's what it's a baby. It's so technically a baby horse. And so it's not been proven anything. You just primarily looking at the conformation or the body of the horse, what it looks like, if you like it or not, and you're looking at the pedigree. Does it have like a nice mommy and a nice daddy? And what does the mommy produce? What does the daddy produce? We have them all over the world because Europe's big in horse racing, Australia, Korea, not so much. They're trying to really get in. They're trying to, but I think their horse industry is a little lacking still because I've seen some of the horses on TV and they just don't look good to me personally.
I was surprised by the Japanese horses because, like, I always think
Japan are so nice. They have some of the top. If you go back and look at the most recent derbies, I think the year before they had a horse that finished second in the derby by like this much.
Because you think about like samurais and war horses, like they have to have strong breeds out there. I think even the horses have clans, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But it's
Japan's huge in the. They've really stepped up into the breeding, and because they've got some, they're really good in Europe too. Kentucky, the U.S. is really big into dirt racing. We do have turf racing. There's two different things. But outside of the U.S., you don't see a lot of dirt racing. It's mainly on the turf, especially in Europe, Australia, and
I never thought about that.
They do have other services, but they do a lot. They're really big into the grass races. So we have grass races here in the U.S., but we got some good horses. But dirt has always been our primary here, I would say.
Is there a big difference? Like the horseshoes are different for grass and dirt, or
that's a whole thing right there. I can't tell you all about the shoes, but each horse. They really fit the shoe to the horse's hoof. So they can use, there are some illegal shoes they can't wear in the races. I guess more grippy ones. There's some that they can't have, but there's so many different types of shoes they can put on. The farriers are heroes. Some of the unsung heroes for these horses.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because like in tennis, you play on different turfs, and they have like different types of shoes, like different types of soles and stuff.
You really have to see what the horse likes, though, because some horses are actually bred more for the turf. Their daddy has produced. You'll kind of look at the pedigree too. Like this daddy and this mom has produced lots of good turf horses. So you're probably going to run them on the turf. But when they get into the racing scene, you kind of see how they move over each surface, and they'll kind of decide there.
Yeah.
And the racing industry is a labor of love. It's I always kind of describe it as a circus life because you're always traveling, you're always picking up and going places.
It makes sense.
You're with those horses like 24/7. And that's why I love the industry, but I don't miss it that much because that was a lot of work.
Did you ever have a horse die that you liked?
Yeah, but he died later on when he was going to stud, though. It wasn't at the track. Unbridled Song was his name, and he was my little buddy. And he was actually a decent horse. He was a good race horse, but I think he died of colic. Colic is with the stomach. It does some weird stuff, and it kills a lot of horses. And it's one of those weird things that just...
Babies get that, too. I don't know why adults don't get as much.
It's weird. And horses, though, it's very deadly. Because horses, I think it's where their stomachs are suspended in their bellies. It's weird. If it gets flipped, I mean, they have weird stomachs. So, because they can't lay down a long time. You have to, I think when they get colic, you got to keep walking. Keep them moving, but it's very deadly for a lot of horses. And laminitis is also a huge killer. It's not a huge killer, but it's one of those that there's no cure for it. It's I think what it is the bone. There's the hoof, and the bone starts pushing through to the hoof down there.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
And they can't really do any. That's what killed Barbaro. If you guys ever heard of Barbaro, he was I think he won in 2006 the Derby, and then he was running the Preakness, and he broke his back leg, and they fixed it. Technically, they fixed all the issue, but what happened was he got laminitis, and it moved around to another foot. And he fought. I think it was almost a year he fought, and then they finally decided it wasn't right for the horse, so they put him down. So it wasn't even the injury that killed him; it was the laminitis that came after and killed him. So it's a very deadly thing that they can't fix.
I think the first, it wasn't a death like that, but the first time I ever went to a horse race was at Churchill Downs. And they let us come in even though we were kids. Like it's connected to like a casino, and you have to go through the casino, or at least the part where we went through. And then you have to go through and walk to this other part. Then you get to the Churchill Downs. But I saw a horse die, like right there. Like we were sitting like right at the finish line, and it was so muddy. They shouldn't have been running. Like it was so muddy, and he just tripped and he fell and he broke his leg. But then the way he landed on his head was really bad. And I don't remember if he died immediately or if they had to put him down.
Euthanize him,
but they did it right in front of us either way. So it was just like,
oh yeah, that's the dark side of racing. As much as there's some highs and lows and some great moments, it's got a lot of hate, which every sport, you know, has that, because you look at athletes, they do the same. They break down, and those horses are essentially athletes.
Yeah.
They are. And some of these horses, I'm going to tell you right now, they are so well taken care of. I have seen some of these horses treated better than people half the time. I'm just telling you right now, especially if they're good. I do feel bad for the horses that don't run well, because there's a lot of places that do now help horses off the track, horses that didn't do well. One of the places is called Old Friends, and it's up in Lexington, Kentucky, also in that area. I'm trying to remember, there's an older man that started it, and he would really take in the older horses. So he was taking in like old stallions, and they're actually famous. Silver Charm is still there to this day. I think I actually have. Let me look here. I think I had no, I didn't write down. But there was many. There's still a lot of old stallions. If someone doesn't want them, or old mares, they bring them over, and it's kind of sad. It's like you're taking care of these old horses right till they die. So it's almost like it's just you're watching them live out maybe a year or two of their lives, or maybe longer. I think Silver Charm is the oldest living horse that's won a Triple Crown race that's alive right now still.
How old is he?
I believe I think he might be 30.
Oh wow.
Silver Charm.
I had a horse as a kid, kind of. It was our horse, but it wasn't. It was this lady's, but she let us keep it and like say it was ours, kind of.
Right.
We rode it all the time, but he only lived till he was 24, so I didn't know horses could get to 30.
Yeah, it's the breed, and honestly, what's going on with them. Some horses, it's like humans, you know. Some can live. I mean, there's horses that have lived like 40. I think the oldest ever living horse might have been in their 50s, or maybe 60. I can't remember. But
that's insane.
I have literally no service right now in my basement.
Sorry, wait. I can look it up. Hold on. I got 2 bars over here for some reason.
Silver Charm. But Old Friends, the guy that I can't remember his name. He actually kind of says semi-retired. There's somebody else who owns it now, or is like the main owner of it.
He's 2 years younger than us. 31.
He's 31. Okay, yeah.
Technically 30. He'll be it's 31. He was born in February.
So, interesting note about horse racing is it's kind of like a Korean thing, maybe too. But I don't know. Every thoroughbred's birthday is January 1.
Oh.
Technically, they have their own birthdays, but they count them as being one.
It is like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Korean. So that's how they do the thoroughbreds, I guess, to make it even. Even though they might have been born like 3 months in to that month, they're still.
Do they go up another year once they get to their birthday, or does it just stay that?
They keep going. Yeah,
okay.
So they yearlings. Well,
like you know how Korean
it's
is
the
like,
official birthday of all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's their official birthday of thoroughbreds is when they hit that one. So they might not be technically 3 yet, because they might be like almost 3, like 2 months in to that year, and they'll be like, but they're already 3 when they hit that January 1. So
it's so weird. I didn't know that.
I guess to make everything even, because most of the races are they do age groups in races. So 2-year-olds are only going to race against 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because they're just babies still. So they only race against each other.
That makes
sense.
sense.
Usually they don't start racing until later in the year. And of course there are mixed bags. There's like 3-year-olds and up. And there's a lot of, if you ever looked at a racetrack program, there's like a whole box there that you can read. It says 3-year-olds and up, blah, 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 with this condition and this condition. They've only won this and they've only done this. Yeah, there's a lot of rules and stuff.
Can you tell this is Megan's hyper-fixation?
Yes, this is something I've been in for years. Y'all know when I go on bloodhorse.com every day at work and look up the horse racing news. And I used to help a lady with pedigrees. We used to do pedigree books. She would have clients that had horses in the sales.
Oh.
So we would put together little books for like little catalogs. that showed off their pedigrees and some little side notes about the sires and the mayors. And so I would have to stay up late and at night, and we had some prominent clients. One was Gainesway Farm, which is a big still farm today. There's many. I mean, I would say Kentucky, it's known as the horse racing capital of the world.
Yeah.
We have some of the most premier stallions in the world.
Because the bluegrass.
I was going to say the bluegrass, the limestone. Is that what how it is? And that's also why they make
bluegrass
bourbon.
Oh. 2 more things about Kentucky. Bourbon. Let's go bourbon first.
Bourbon. I still got more horse racing stuff, but the Kentucky Horse Park is also somewhere that y'all have to go. I'm gonna take Sarah there. We're gonna go do a vlog there one day because it is like my happy place in life.
I went once as a kid when they had this like exhibit of Chinese art.
Yes.
Do they still have that there?
They have a museum there of horse racing still, or not just horses.
Oh, okay.
Of horse
it was
stuff.
like actual like sculptures they made of like war horses from China.
Yeah, I think there's still some things like that in there. They have a museum. They have like different barns you can go to. One is the Hall of Champions where they have Gopher Gin. I think he's still alive. I seen him last January there. He's like, no, he died. No, Gopher Gin died. I saw Western Dreamer. And he's like 32, 33, and he looks like great. He's a pacing horse. They do that harness racing where looks like they're trotting the whole time like this.
Yeah.
But he's a famous horse there. But they usually take in like they only have like maybe 8 stalls there. They only take in so many champions or horses. One horse called Accelerates there. His stud career didn't work out for him. He's a really nice horse, but he wasn't shooting out enough, So, so he was kind of not infertile, but he wasn't very fertile.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I would really recommend anybody to go to the horse park. They have a lot of things to see there. They get a breed show, different breeds, and they actually do like events there too, like show jumping, cross country for horses.
Oh, that's cool.
And they have a lot of different things there. So I really recommend the horse park for anybody that comes to Kentucky. It's definitely somewhere to check out if you're halfway interested in horses or the history. So now we'll go on to bourbon. I can sit here and mention all the farms. We have some of the major farms in the world. American Pharoah. We have 2 Triple Crown winners here. Justify and American Pharoah. But yeah, okay, bourbon. Bourbon, y'all. Bourbon is huge in Kentucky because it is one of our bestest things that we could do for the world.
Yeah, and it's technically, bourbon is weird. So like, if you don't know what bourbon really is, it's like further aged whiskey. That's all it is.
Yes, and it's let's see, 95% of the world's bourbon is made in Kentucky. 95%. There are so many distilleries. We've actually got one across. So Sagarac. It's something that owns this building. So they're building some storage buildings for bourbon barrels across from my road of my house.
Oh yeah, I forgot you told me that.
There was like 10 big giant black barns, and there's a brand it's a liquor brand or it's a alcohol brand, Sazerac. Oh. Sazerac, and I think that's there. So it might be Buffalo Trace. It might be their
Buffalo
actual
Trace is a big one.
Their buildings, and they're huge. I might try to show you guys, take a picture or video, but they do a good job. They're gonna be really nice buildings, but there's gonna be lots of bourbon across from my house storage.
I don't know why that reminded me of that. Jif peanut butter. We make most of the Jif peanut butter here in Kentucky.
I read that. And also, so Jif's huge here in Kentucky. If you like peanut butter and you eat Jif, I may have touched it.
And if you just go by the place in Lexington with your windows down, you can smell it.
Yeah, there's that bakery here in London you can smell too. What's that, Laurel? Sara Lee? Is that Sara Lee Bakery? No.
Maybe.
Oh, there's a bakery that has, anyway. Yeah. There's a big bread place, but anyway, bourbon. So, bourbon.
My ADHD's a little bad today.
Apparently protected by U.S. Congress since 1964 as a distinctive product of the United States, bourbon is. So, I didn't know that. It's a factoid.
That's so interesting.
It contributes about $9 billion annually to Kentucky's economy. So, it's huge. more than 1.8 billion in annual payroll, so it has over like 22,000 jobs. It helps. Over 800 distilleries, including large, craft, and micro distilleries.
Oh wow,
800. I had no idea.
I just know
we know the big ones.
Yeah, I just know it's named after France's House of Bourbon. That's all I know about bourbon, offhand.
12.6 million barrels of bourbon aging in Kentucky, and that was as of 2024.
I really want one. I think it'd be a really cool decoration.
That's almost 3 barrels for every resident.
Oh my god.
Bourbon production has tripled since 1999. In 2023 alone, distilleries filled 2.7 million new barrels, a record-breaking year. Okay, bourbon barrels are taxed as property.
Oh.
So Kentucky is the only place in the world that does this.
Like actual land property?
That's what it says, yep. It generates over $300 million in state and local taxes annually.
So I shouldn't get a barrel. Have to claim property taxes.
Kentucky Bourbon Trail and the Craft Bourbon Trail draw over 2 million visitors per year.
That makes sense.
So the Bourbon Trail, and that's mainly also in your horse country too. Mm-hmm. So near Lexington and that area is kind of like the hot zone for a lot of distilleries, and up north of that usually. Yeah. There's not many down this way. It's all more in the Bluegrass area and that Lexington area up north of us.
Which is so weird because bluegrass music is more associated with eastern, southern Kentucky.
Right.
But the bluegrass area is more northwest.
Yeah, northwest.
It's so weird.
Kind of in that middle area over there. So Maker's Mark, Woodford Reserve, Buffalo Trace are some of the big ones that we have here. And I know we live here, guys. We're not big drinkers.
Yeah, not really.
So bourbon is not on our menu at all. So bourbon is not our thing.
Bourbon balls are Sarah's thing.
Bourbon balls are good.
They're so good.
Bourbon balls are
so good. Especially when they make them with really good quality bourbon. So good.
At least 51% corn. Bourbon must be at least 51% corn.
Oh.
Aged in new charred oak barrels. Distilled to no more than 160 proof. Made in the USA, not just Kentucky, but we run the show. That's what it said.
That's cool, though.
Aging isn't about time, it's about the taste. But most bourbons are aged 4 to 12 years. Wow. That's interesting.
That's amazing.
So we are a state of many cool things, actually. Yes. People think that they say there's nothing to do here in Kentucky, but really, we have a lot of nature. Like we said, I read a factoid that said, I think Kentucky is like half forest, pretty much.
Right.
48%. And actually, we're like the number 1 or 2 of the most diverse tree.
Mm-hmm. I think Daniel Boone National Forest, which we have part of it's in McCreary County. It comes over here to London. It goes.
Daniel Boone. There's some famous people like Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
Born here.
Yep.
Born bred. I guess I don't know if he's born bred, but anyway. But we also Daniel Boone came through here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool things.
And they said, I remember saying this quote before about Daniel Boone, that you need to have a good gun, a good woman, and a good horse or something like that to make it in Kentucky.
Yeah, pretty much. And what's the saying they have here? Is this fast women, pretty horses, and good bourbon or something? What's that saying they have here?
Oh, I can't remember.
It's I think it's fast. It might be fast women, pretty horses, and good bourbon.
Yeah.
Or it's the other way around: is fast horses, pretty women, good bourbon.
That makes sense.
But someone told me, I feel like once or twice people have said fast women, so I don't know. But we're pretty guys. We have pretty horses, pretty women, and good bourbon.
Pretty bourbon.
You're welcome. We're both single. Anyway.
Single
and actively looking. I mean, if it happens, it happens.
Sure.
But we've got a lot of history here.
Speaking of celebrities, we also have what's her name? The girl she played Katniss Everdeen. And
I knew exactly who you were going to say.
Yep.
And she left my brain as soon as you said that.
Yeah. And also the guy who played
George Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney.
And there's some cool Mount Vernon that's not too far from us has a lot of history of the music industry. So it's got some old time music there. Some Loretta Lynn and all of them. There's a lot of country music history in Kentucky too.
Let me look up her name. It's gonna kill me.
Mount Vernon too. What is Mount Vernon? Has the Country Music Hall of Fame, or there's a museum there too.
Jennifer Lawrence,
George Clooney,
and Oh my God, Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. I remember they were trying to sell his horse farm in Powell and Lexington for a long time.
I didn't know he had a horse farm.
A few years ago, or it was a farm he lived on. I don't know if he
Yeah.
actually had any horses, but
Also the guy from Star Trek.
Pratt? No, Pine. Chris Pine? No.
Old Star Trek.
Yes, I know you're talking about now. Don't Spock.
Actually, no. I know a very good story. William Shatner. He lives here. He has a house.
William Shatner lives here.
Yeah.
He also likes BTS.
There's a rumor that he murdered his first wife in a swimming pool.
I don't doubt that. I would say a lot of these men have done that. I don't trust these men around here.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean, they just found her like floating face up in the swimming pool.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we have so much interesting stuff in Kentucky. Beautiful land. Like even the
rolling hills.
National Forest is gorgeous.
The Red River Gorge is a really good area. We have Cumberland Falls.
Yes.
So Cumberland Falls is the second largest falls in the world.
Yeah.
And it's just south of us, near in the Corbin area, so it's not far from here. And also they have what's called the famous moonbow.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's
I think now we might be the only ones. So I thought somebody said that the moonbow it was somewhere in Africa is gone or something happened to it. So we have the famous moonbow, which happens on full moon nights, and it casts a shadow of like a rainbow.
Have you ever seen it?
I haven't been there to see it.
So pretty. I saw it as a kid.
I need to go. I've been there a few times. It's a really cool area. It's something cool to check out. But there's some really cool.
The drive's crazy though. To prepare for uphills.
Yeah, it's you're going down, up and down. You really going down. Windy. It's very windy, and that's huge bike riding too around here.
Yes, and we also have Mammoth Caves, the largest cave system in the world.
Yeah, Mammoth Cave. It's one of the largest cave systems. So Mammoth Cave is really cool. It's been a long time. I went there as a child, and watched. They had it's like a down under place. They had like kangaroos, and they had like
Kentucky Down Under.
Kentucky Down Under. I cannot think of it. Yeah, I went there. It's in that area, so there's a lot of cool things to check out here.
And you can pet those kangaroos.
Yeah,
depending on how you feel
I'm
about it.
I'm kind of scared of Have you seen them when they're in Australia? They're like
beefed. Yeah.
I'm just like me, beefed up. Let's go.
We also have this really cool, amazing podcast called Created Kentucky K2K.
Yes,
and it's based in Kentucky as well.
They are born and bred in Kentucky, and they're probably the coolest people ever. I don't know if it's something you all need to check out and come visit. And I agree. You should come to my basement. We'll have a talk. We'll show you around.
I promise you won't be murdered in our basement.
You will not be murdered in this basement. It is a murder-free area, unless you come. That I know. Oh God, don't tell me that. Anyway. I think that's really it. We've hit all the big spots as of right now.
The next episode will still be in the same outfits because we're filming it back to back.
Yeah, we're filming. We also didn't get to interview because our interviewee
she hurt her
hurts her foot, so we can't do that.
So our next interviews they're scheduled for, unless we get someone else randomly.
I've still got a few more I got to schedule and ask about their time frames, but we've got a few people that want to come on and they want to do it, so we're just gonna have them on here, guys. I promise. But everybody has a living and they work and stuff and things.
But our next ones will be like around the AT's concert, so you'll see we're gonna do a video log, a vlog. Of the whole day that we're there. We're gonna meet people, do some fan event stuff.
So it's so fun.
Interview some friends we made the last time we were there.
I'm hoping to meet ATs and interview them.
I wish they're not even doing a meet and greet, are they?
They do. If you got the VVIP
ones. Don't tell me that.
That's that one. Remember those the VVIPs?
The ones that came. They were like
$4,000. Yeah, the $4,000 send-off tickets. But I'm gonna interview them, and they're gonna talk to us. We're gonna do cool things with them. It's called manifesting, y'all.
Yes, manifesting.
You speak it into existence. It happened. It was so fun. Anyway, guys, this was this episode. Yes. I hope you enjoyed our little facts about Kentucky. And if you have more questions in the comments, ask.
Or drop more facts in the comments.
If you know. I know a lot of y'all are from Kentucky who watch us too. So ask. We always open for questions. How good we look.
Yes.
We're super cute. And we are not sisters, but we look alike. So that's it too. Well, guys, that was this episode. I'm Megan.
And I'm Sarah.
And this was
K2K.
We were so close. So close to doing
We'll get it next time.
Next time. There's always a next time, y'all. Always a next time.
I'm ending my audio here.